Hello, I'm Joe Lycett, and this is Virtually Everything for Comic Relief. Joe Lycett, as a child, was a fabulously queer little creature. One of the things I used to enjoy was going out into the garden and treating the flowers like an orchestra. I used to listen to a lot of classical music when I was a little boy, and I used to think that I was a conductor of an orchestra and that maybe the lilies were the violins and sunflowers were the brass section. And I would sing Gustav Holst's The Planets to the flowers whilst conducting them as if they were an orchestra. And it's no wonder that I turned out to be this ridiculous adult man. It's really tricky to think of a time when I was charitable when I was younger, because I was and am a selfish human being. I must have done loads of charitable stuff. I think I did bake sales, that kind of thing, but my baking's never been that good, so the charity really was being done to me because people were giving me money and sympathy, going, "Oh, thanks for making us a cake," and then immediately putting it into the bin. My actual first proper stand-up gig that I was booked for was in sort of February the year later, and it was a charitable gig. It was for the British Heart Foundation. It's called Just for Laughs, and I went on straight after Jack Whitehall, who was very funny and very good, and he came off and he said, "Oh, there's a bit of heckling over on that corner, but don't worry about it, I think I've dealt with it and whatever." And I was going, "Oh," I just didn't know and understand any of that, and then had a really nice time. I did a routine about how I was really posh, and I did a version of Drop It Like It's Hot called You're a Filthy Peasant. Nothing keeps me up at night because I'm so good at sleeping. It's one of my great skills. I sleep minimum 8 hours a night, and then we'll normally have at least half hour of a nap in the afternoon as well. Nothing does. Really, very little. Apart from, sometimes as a little treat, I'll watch an ASMR video, which is where I watch a woman called Gentle Whispering, as she's known on YouTube, turning pages in a library. And that I will sometimes indulge in as a little, because it gives me little head tingles. It sounds very weird, but it's not. It's perfectly normal, I think. My favourite thing recently to do to relax and recenter myself is to do gardening. I've really got into it. I love growing vegetables. I've got in my garden, I did tomatoes, aubergine, raspberries, blueberries, kale, broccoli, cauliflower. I tell you what, cauliflower is a right old knob. I really don't like cauliflower. It really doesn't grow properly in my garden. I don't like it. But I find being in the garden so blissful and calm. And also I have a thing on Instagram where I refer to my plants as, particularly the flowers, as sluts, because that's essentially what they are. I've got this basket of petunias, and I think it's a basket of slags. They're a basket of slags. Oh, the most awkward moment on stage. There's been so many. When you're starting out, you do end up doing a lot of gigs where people don't really want you to be there. And then I ended up doing a gig at Cambridge University for their kind of end of year thing. And they were all really drunk, and I was next to a jazz band, so the gig, you couldn't really hear the stand-up. And when I got there, I just knew it wasn't a really particularly well set up gig, and I was a bit cross about it because I thought it's a shame that stand-up is being treated this way. And so I went on stage because I was contractually obliged to, and I just said, "I've come on stage because in order to get paid I have to come on stage, but I'm not going to do any jokes." And then I left the stage, and I felt like such a diva afterwards, felt like a really naughty boy. And but I got paid, so sod it. All those poshos got none of my jokes. In 20 years' time, Jo will be an elderly woman sat in a chair, farting away, probably saying offensive things, and hopefully doing lots of gardening. I think to raise money for Comic Relief, I would sleep for 24 hours, put a little webcam on me, and I think that would do raise a lot of money, just Joe having a nap for 24 hours. And it would be probably the best day of my life. I would like to see more people gardening. I think if the politicians and all of the bad eggs in life just popped in their garden for a little longer and maybe nurtured something for a little while, it would slow them down a bit and show them that life's more than being shouty and aggressive.